definitely off on that one. Do I still have eyebrows? Hey! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I am T. I am your host. This is T's Good Times Garage. We are lurking once again underneath my 1971 big block Plymouth Duster. And I got everything in. I was ready to try and drive the thing. Of course, we have some carburetor situations. You know, just things that need to be dealt with before we should really take it out on a safe drive. That said, my plan had changed just a little bit. We are back from the No Name Nationals. The Dart eventually performed well. It took us a little bit of work to get it happy. But on Saturday, man, it was running great, and I'm glad my kid got to experience that. I think he was pretty excited. This car should definitely make some people excited, myself included. But we were waiting, a little bit dependent on being back from that trip, because I'm going to steal some stuff off the Dart. I know, that's a terrible thing to do. I don't love the idea, but the Dart has the transmission shield that will fit underneath the stock floor. And I can't buy one right now. I've been trying to find a used one, new ones. I don't even know if they're technically being produced. Everything says back order. So I'm going to steal that shield and put it under this car. The Dart has plenty of tonal room, so it can get just about whatever I can find to throw up there. So we'll do that. Honestly, don't know what the next race season looks like. The initial plan is the Duster and learn how to bracket race again and get used to this car. This transmission that I recently got put in and hooked up is going to come back out. This transmission pan gasket is absolute garbage too, but it is coming out so we can put that transmission shield on, and then we'll roll the car outside. We'll drive the Dart in. We'll see if we can't get that shield off of the Dart without too much effort, and then the Dart will probably get winterized at this point, and it will go inside the race trailer to spend the winter or until that trailer sells. That trailer is for sale right now. And I see a lot of fluid on top of the shifter arm here, so I'm wondering if that's a big part of where my leak was. So we're going to get a gasket for the pan, and we're going to replace this gasket here. But with the carbon fiber shield, some things will have to be ground away from the case. So this case, of course, would never be able to be used in a stock application. That was a pain. Oh man, now this poor car is gonna have to sit outside for a day or two. And this is the reason why you should always have help. Smack that on the way out. Good job, T. Anyway, the Dart's in there. It's definitely looking like rain. This is not a waterproof car cover, unfortunately. Hopefully it does enough of a trick. Keep water out of the important places. Well, we're back in the garage. The Dart is up on the rack right now. Trying to get this transmission shield off of here. And honestly, I'm hoping to not have to pull the trans. I don't know if there's enough room. It's probably not going to be enough room. But me being me, well, this dipstick's not going to need to be in the way for the trans shield to come out. I pulled it and douched my floor. I just have a feeling that I'm going to have to pull the trans. There's a lot of room up there with the way this floor and tunnel were put in, which I'm very happy about. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to get this shield out. All right, the Dart is out. Hi. It's over there. There's the shield. This beautiful carbon fiber transmission slash flex plate shield. Next step, get the duster back in here. So I'm gonna drain a little water from the radiator. Getting it ready for winter. Gonna make a little room for some antifreeze, and then I'll dump that in. And then park it inside Mac. Didn't quite miss the rain, and it wasn't much rain, but enough to dirty it up again. This is why I had to get the cars switched around ASAP. The back 40 over there is going to be so saturated. I would not want to walk in it at the moment, let alone drive something through it. In a couple of days, we'll get some sun, and we'll be able to maybe move some things in and out of there. So a little bit of work on the duster, and maybe we can take it for a spin. Well, we're back under the duster once again, but we are getting ready to do a little bit of clearancing, namely these ears right here. One on each side. Gotta go to fit this. Now I think on one I've done previously, this nub had to go too. First cut's made. Now I'm gonna do a quick test fit, see if I've got to take this nub off or not. It's also the question of the dipstick. We'll get that in the ballpark. Probably should have stolen the dipstick off of the car, the Dart too, but we're definitely hitting. So some of that's got to come out. That'll do, pig. That'll do. One more test fit. And then clean up on aisle 5 here. Got aluminum everywhere. Losing weight. That feels perfect. Yeah, I definitely took more off that nub than I needed to, but by the time I got in there, I started thinking, let's just smooth it out. Like it never happened. I think we'll go ahead and get the shield put on now and get this transmission set up in its home. Well, this was kind of a pain. Getting that shield in, no easy task. We won't look at the specifics down there, but let's just say I ended up drilling holes through the tunnel to get the dang bolts. And that was almost curse worthy there. Getting those stupid bolts in to the transmission. It's not the easiest task with no transmission shield in there, but almost impossible. It's like a 3-inch bolt. Find the spot, find the way to get it in there. So anyway, I'm gonna have to find a way to clean that up. Maybe even make a single panel that I can remove. But anyway, what that means is we're close. Seats are resting loosely in the car, but I have my carburetor off of the Dart. I think what we'll do next is test the fuel system. We'll turn the pump on, make sure there are no leaks. I wanted to make sure that my transmission isn't leaking either. Got a new pan gasket in there. I know it's tough to see, but the floor below looks dry. Got the pump primed. We're definitely off on that one. Do I still have eyebrows? Well, we were able to keep it running long enough to get some carburetor adjustment in. We've got an idle somewhere around 1100. Definitely a little bit out of whack, I think, still. But it'll idle. I got some timing in it. It's locked out in the distributor, and we've got right now about 35 or 36 degrees total in it. And we're definitely still a little bit low on the transmission, but it's dark. It's not late. But that's what happens when fall comes to town. We'll have to pick back up where we left off another day. I think before I drive it, I'm going to pull the valve covers and just run through the valves one more time. Just make sure everything's happy there. Well, it was a cold start. Forgot to film that. We're checking the transmission fluid so we can take it for a zing. It's go time! Well, that's not a good sign. Got reversed. For some reason the reverse doesn't want to work. Alright, I'm going to check the trans again. Appears we still have no reverse. Transmission is full. but no reverse. So I should have just test drove the stupid thing without that shield on it, because now it's going to be a pain in the butt to get that out. Forward still, or first, appears to have some movement in it. So we're going to do a little test, and if I feel like it'll drive back up on the rack here, then we'll push it out and still take it for a drive and see what else doesn't work. Pinions, man, I tell you. Well, it continues to not be my lucky day. I'm all out of breath now because I've been trying to turn this thing back. And I got the steering wheel to move, but guess what? This tire, no movie. And this, my friends, is why you don't put a hack and pinion in a Mopar. Geometry is all messed up. I have never seen this happen though. You've got to be freaking kidding me. Somehow I got to get this thing straight and dish back out and back into the garage. The acronym FML comes to mind. Yeah, it just bent that rack. Gonna try and go get it turned around somehow. Are working, so apparently just reversed. We'll have to look into that. I know I shouldn't be doing that with that steering the way it is. Go get it home. Happy Saturday. My boys all came out and helped me move the car to this point from the street where it wouldn't restart after, I don't know, only got it up to about 190. It's not like it was hot. So, well, let's winch the thing in. And this cheap POS Harbor Freight winch decided to shatter here on the end. So that idea is done. I am as frustrated as I've been all freaking year on this thing. And this has been my drag year. Frustrating, every little bit of it. Been wanting to get this car going so dang bad. For one stupid little thing after another to happen. And yeah, I probably should have test driven the thing before I went and took all the time to put the transmission shield on it. I think at that point I had slim hopes to still get it out to a track this year. It's a hack and pinion, and that's what they used to have to do when there were no aftermarket support, you know, for things like that. It's not necessary, and I'm really frustrated, one, that I ran my dart so long like that, and two, that the first drive out of the freaking garage, and obviously I overextended that, because it gets to a point where it's almost like too far, and then when it tries to pull back, it's fighting itself, and that's probably what bent it. Thanks, Chicago Electric. This is an older one too, so I guess I should be happy that it lasted as long as it did. We'll get it in here somehow. I'll put a battery charger on it and we'll drive it the rest of the way, I hope. Wouldn't know by looking at it that it's a broken down POS. So frustrated. I have so much history with this car, and for this reuniting and resurgence, reemergence, all the re-whats, it's taking forever. It's frustrating. It's not going well. I don't know, it still runs, it'll still move in forward. We're gonna get it in here on the rack. Mrs. T is gonna help me guide it in so I don't drive it off of the rack like an idiot. Did you notice that one tire? Straight-ish, actually it's kind of turned left. This one's turned right. That's not supposed to happen. See if it'll start. You see this is using factory ball joints, lower ball joints here. The knuckles typically on the back, you flip them around and move them side to side. So you have this knuckle in the front. And then it looks like some sort of a kit, honestly, that goes in place to the strut rod, attaches to this bracket on this tubing that gets welded into the frame of the car. And the rack mounts here. This is an older build. I think we've talked about that before. Long and the short of it, it got hurt, it came out, got fixed, and then sat for several years. These gaskets not sealing. Either that or they're just, you know, dried out. But this RTV in here does feel like still pretty flexible. But it's obviously pushing oil through there. And the other fun part, transmission fluid. Yes, definitely. There's the blood. It was starting to puddle up at the bottom. Looking through the converter, you can see at the bottom of the pump there is a little fluid. And it kind of looks wet-ish above that. So that front seal, obviously not sealing. My training pan, nice and dry. Yeah, there's freaking oil up there. Where's that all coming from? One thing I know he did have an issue with when he was running it was that the header evac wasn't enough. And so he put an electric vacuum pump on there. And I'm guessing that's not doing enough either. So first things first, I'm going to try and deal with this rack situation. If I can find a rack. Anybody know by looking at it what style this is? I really don't. And I don't really want to put it back to factory again because, you know, that stuff's heavy and whatnot. But if I could get an aftermarket, you know, K-frame swap conversion thingy, there's a few out there, that would be good. If you've got a kit that you're wanting to sell, hit me up. But let's talk about it. I really think that this hack and pinion's got to come out. Anyway, thanks for coming along with me on this first voyage, like setting off in the Titanic. But she will live again. She lives, but she will drive again. I've had a little bit of time to think about things. It was a rough day, let's say that. We'll recap, and you can see the obvious telltale whatever's from here. The turning radius is garbage. It absolutely sucks, and I don't think I could live with it either. So long term, we'll be switching that out. That's the bad part about doing this. Yeah, you mess up the geometry. They'll go straight, but they suck at turning. I'm a little frustrated, and I'm trying not to be a Debbie Downer about things. The car still has a ton of potential, and the engine sounds good. It just sounds like I need a little bit more tuning. Dialing that carburetor and timing in a little some. And that means, you know, running plugs and actually making passes with the thing. So it might take a minute before we get it dialed. But I do think things have to come out. That transmission, reverse, no worky. So we've got something going on in that sector. Maybe the servo, maybe that lower reverse band. Although all the forward gears seemed to engage. But I think my best bet is to pull it. So we'll get the pan off of it at least to drain the fluid out, and maybe we'll see some indication. And I've got a few things to fix anyway. That front pump seal looks like it's leaking. Something's leaking up front. It looks like the gaskets on the engine, the bottom, the oil pan. It does seem like maybe the crankcase pressure needs to be vented a little bit better. There is a vacuum pump in here. It's electric. I don't know what the performance is like on it. We're going to have another 727 torque flight video coming up soon. How about that? If you've got a rack, let me know. I'll take it. If you've got a one of the better K-frame swap out kits, let me know. No worries, guys. We'll get back to it. We'll get back to some other stuff. Bada bing. We've got another duster out front that needs a free 83 that's buried somewhere over there in that junk. Definitely looking forward to this car at Matt's, though. End of March, I think it's the 27th through the 29th. Lots of work to do over the off season. Lots of projects to get done. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very much. Great to have you on board. If you would like to be on board this crazy train, click that subscribe button. I don't mind you hitting the like button either. That's pretty cool. That's pretty nice of you. More to come on all these piles? No. These are great. I love my cars. More to come on all these projects. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.